number 9. This is how my math lab presents it to you. But truth tables are much easier to do column by column by column. And the way this is set up, it's making you do it row by row by row, which is very difficult because you have to do every single step one at a time, which means you'd have to start in the parentheses. I mean, it's complicated to do it this way. So I wrote you a little note. I strongly suggest doing this one on a piece of paper and then entering your answers into my math lab. It is so much easier. And I went ahead and did the first one to show you, I got it right. And once you're done with the row, you'll get a positive affirmation after each row. So you're going to get 4 of them here. But to actually do it, I would do it on a piece of paper first. So I have done that here for you. And I didn't write anything. I'm going to do this all from the beginning. And so I look at what they're asking me to calculate. And I look to see, is it just P's and Q's or is it P, Q, and R? Okay, it's just P's and Q's. So I have to come over here and remind myself, well, what is P and what is Q when you start this? And so remember, when you have just 2 statements, they always go with true and then true. Both of them are true. The second one is, the first one's true, the second one's false. The third one is, the first one's false, but the second one's true. And then the last one is, they're both false. And so to make this easy on myself, I always come over here, and I'm actually going to use, do I have a pencil in here? Where's the pencil? No. Okay, well, I'll switch to gray on this, and I'll make it much thinner. Okay. I come over here, and I actually create my columns. So I'm going to need 4 rows. The first row is for true and true. The second row is for true and false. The third row is for false and true. And the last row is for false and false. Now in class, I usually use a ruler because I don't make great lines, but I can't do that here. Okay, now my first column is going to be for this negation. My next column will be for the negation of P. And I don't separate the negation and the P because for negations are easy to do. And so I can just look over there on the left and see that P is true, true, false, false. So the negation would be false, false, true, true. So it's easy to do that. The third column is for the and. Fourth column is for the Q. Fifth column is for the or. Now this negation is outside the parentheses. So yeah, he's going to get his own column. And then P will get his own column. And the or will get his own column. But then this negation of Q, I'll just leave him to his own column. And that's how I start this. And every one of those little boxes in there is going to be filled with a T or an F. Now, I'm going to go back to my black pen because there are 2 of these columns that I can just use my copying skills on. And they are this one here, because it says Q. Let me make that a little thicker. There we go. This one here, because it just says Q. So I'm going to come over here to the Q column and just copy true, false, true, false. And down here I have a P. So for this one, I'm just going to come over here and look at what P is And that's true, true, false, false. So I'm just going to copy that. True, true, false, false. And that's how I always start it. I fill in the columns where I can just utilize my copying skills, and I'm going to erase. I'm going to erase these arrows because I don't want them there anymore, and I just, oopsie. Let me fix that. Was it that gray or that gray? I don't know. Where did I mess up? It was right here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, now, step one. Okay, there are two sets of parentheses. So I'm going to start inside the first set, which is right here. Right? And inside that set, you've got a negation and an and. You will always do the negation first. So this is technically my first calculation. And I need to negate P. So to get this column here, I'm going to come over here and simply look at column P, which is true, true, false, false, and negate it, which would be false, false, true, true. You switch every T to an F and every F to a T, because that's what you do when you negate things. Now, my next step is going to be to finish what's inside the parentheses, which is that and, which is a conjunction, is going to happen between this column and this column. So to fill in that column with the green, it's an and remember, on an and, the only time you get a true is when they're both true. In that column, those are the only two that are true. So the rest of these are false. That takes care of that set of parentheses. So now I'm going to go over to the other set of parentheses here. And the first thing you'll do on this one is this negation. Now this one says negation of Q. So to get this one, I'm going to come over and look at true, false, negate that, false, true, and then to finish what's inside those parentheses, I will do this, and I just realized I forgot to number it for you. Let's see, this was step 3, and now I'm gonna do step 4, and to get this column I have to look at the two columns on either side of it. And so true, false, I'm doing, let's see, this is a disjunction. This is a V. A V is a disjunction, which is an or. And remember, on an or, as long as one of them is true, it'll be true. So true or false is true. True or true is true. But false or false, that's a false. False or true is true. And that takes care of that set of parentheses. Now, in front of each set of parentheses, there are negations. And I'm looking at my time. The program that I use on my computer for this only allows me to use 10 minutes. So this is about to cut off. So I'm going to stop it and finish this problem in a second video.